So, a very good morning to all of you, my dear students of class 7B. I am your SST teacher Vineet Sukla, and up to now, you were looking that I was coming in front of you and was trying to discuss the chapter, and my video was being uploaded. But right now, by today, I am just changing my strategy. Now, what will I do? That I will take the help of an audio recorder, and now this book also be open. This chapter will be open on your mobile screen on this video, and with the same time I will record my voice also. So you will not see my face again and again, and on the place of face the content you will be able to see from here, okay, where I will explain to you people. So as we all know that we are discussing history first chapter right now, and we were we were discussing yesterday that how the how the social condition of peoples was how they were compelled from place one from for roaming one place to another place, for going one place to another place. And I am right now on page number 8 and paragraph number 2. Page number 8 and paragraph number 2 I am here to discuss. So I will start the further portion. For the back portion you may go to previous videos and watch it from there also. Throughout this period, that was a gradual cleaning of forest and extension of agriculture, a change faster and more complete in some areas than the others than in others. Now see what we are studying. We are trying to study that how people were being compelled to move one place to another place, and how these small social groups, jatis like Marathas, Sikhs, Jat, Ahom, and Kayasthas, how they try to frame their importance, try to create their importance, and how beautifully they govern the society. So now in this paragraph we are starting that throughout this period there was a gradual cleaning of forest and the extension of agriculture. Now what we come to know that during this time period there was a gradual clearing of forest and the extension of agriculture. All the forests were being cleaned up slowly and slowly, and agriculture was expanded. A change faster and more complete in some areas than in others, and this kind of change was very fast in nature in comparison to other areas. Forests were very, in a very speedily they were being cut out. All the trees were cut out from the forest, and the cultivative land was developed. Changes in their habitat forced many forest dwellers to migrate. Yesterday I told you this thing also, that due to change in the lifestyle, the habitat, the local dweller of forest, local dweller of a particular place is called habitat. So जो लोकल लेवल के लोग होते हैं, जो स्थानीय लोग होते हैं, जो वहीं के लोग होते हैं, जैसे जंगल के लोग, जनजातियाँ, like tribes are the habitat of forest. So some areas and other changes in their habitat forced many forest dwellers to migrate, and this thing kind of change in their lifestyle, it compelled many of people to move from one place to another place. Then the further what is being written, others started tilling the land and became peasants. Others started tilling the land and became peasants. These new peasants group gradually began to be influenced by regional markets, chieftains, priests, monsters, and temples. I think I have also read this paragraph also. हाँ, मैं ये पढ़ चुका हूँ बेटा. यस्टरडे के वीडियो में आप देखोगे तो you'll find that I have finished this paragraph. So I think I should come now the next one. Jatis framed their own rules and regulation to manage the conduct of their members. These regulations were enforced by the assembly of Jati Panchayat. I have also discussed. I have discussed all these points. Okay, region and empire. Now come to this heading, whether I have finished it or not. Okay, region and empire, page number 9. So come on this place please. Page number 9, I request all of you to Large states like those of Cholas, Tugluks and Mughals encompassed many regions. A Sanskrit Prasasti, this has also been read. Sorry to say you, beta. All these portion I have learned. Now come to, I have already spoken you yesterday. Now come to language and region. Language and region. Come to this page number 10. Language and region. In 1318, the poet Amir Khusro noted that there was. Now we are talking about Amir Khusro. Who was Amir Khusro? Amir Khusro was a famous poet, famous writer of medieval time period who was available in the court of Alauddin Khilji, Balban, and other rulers. So he wrote in 1318, the poet Amir Khusro noted down that a different language in every region of this land, Sindhi, Lahori, Kashmiri, uh, and then what should I say, Dravas Mundi in southern Karnataka, Dwarsamundi, Telangani in Andhra Pradesh, Gujari in Gujarat, Malabari in Tamil Nadu, Gauri in Bengal, and Awadhi in eastern Uttar Pradesh, and Hindvi in the area about Delhi. Now, in this particular paragraph, Amir Khusro has described about the various kind of language and their spoken areas, like Sindhi, Lahori, Kashmiri. It is on the Pakistan and Kashmiri. It is these languages were spoken in current Pakistan and Kashmir. Then Dwarsamudri in southern Karnataka, Dwarsamudri language was spoken. Then Telangani in Andhra Pradesh, Gujari in Gujarat, Malabari in Tamil Nadu, Gauri in Bengal, and Awadhi in eastern Uttar Pradesh, while Hindvi in area around Delhi. These languages were spoken. Amir Khusro went on to explain that in contrast to these languages, there was Sanskrit which did not belong to any region. It was an old language and common people do not know it, only the Brahmins do. But at the same time, Amir Khusro has discussed about one more thing, that is Sanskrit language, and he spoke that Sanskrit language is not spoken all over the country, but only Brahmins spoke it. But it is a very broad language. Okay, it is a very broad language. All the Brahmins of the whole country speak usually Sanskrit language. Make a list of these languages mentioned by Amir Khusro. Prepare another list of the names of languages spoken by today in the regions he mentioned. Underline names that are similar and circle those are different. Now, what is your work according to this passage? Your work is that make a list those of those languages that are spoken by, that are mentioned by Amir Khusro here. Then on the other side, make a list of those states where the language were spoken, and on the next line, what again on the same places, what kind of language is spoken in current time period. Okay, so these three lists will be there. Number one, those languages that Amir Khusro has mentioned, then those area where those language were being spoken, and part third, the current location of those languages, how those languages are being spoken in a current scenario. And if you find that same language that was spoken at the time of Amir Khusro in 1318, if the same language is also being spoken today, then what you have to do? You have to just, sort out that language. You have to underline that language, and then you will find that how old that language is. Then, did you notice that the names by which languages are known have changed over time? Yes, now by the passage of time, those names have also been changed. By 700, many regions already possessed distinct geographical dimensions and their own language and cultural characteristics. So, or approximate 700 many regions of the country have possessed distinct geographical dimensions and their own language. Now, more than 70 100 areas of our country, the language and the political scenario changes from time to time. You will learn more about these in chapter number 9. And what is the main message? That we will learn more about these things in chapter number 9. They were also associated with specific ruling dynasties. These regions are also associated with the uh, specific ruling dynasties, there was considerable conflict between these states. Occasionally dynasties like the Cholas, Khaljis, Tughlaqs and Mughals were able to build an empire that was pan-regional, okay, spanning diverse region. Now, in this particular line, some what should I say? Some dynasties are mentioned like Cholas, like Khiljis, like Tughlaqs, and like Mughals. Okay, so these dynasties were able to build an empire. Now these are the very huge dynasty of our country. These dynasties were able to build their empire. Okay, but in a pan regional and spanning diverse regions. But their the boundary line of their on this one empire was not fixed. It was variable from time to time. Like before Alauddin Khilji, no emperor of Delhi Sultanate was able to win South India. When Alauddin Khilji came on power, then with the help of Malik Kafur, he conquered South India. If we talk about Babar, then earlier his dynasty was in Afghanistan. Then from there he came back to India. He came to India and conquered a lot of dynasties. So in such a way that has been provided here, told here, that how Cholas, Khiljis, Tughlaqs and Mughals were able to build an empire that was pan-regional, spanning diverse regions. Not all these empires were equally stable or successful. Compare, for example, table 1 in the chapter 3rd and 4. We will compare when the new chapter will come. What was the duration of rule of Khiljis and Mughal dynasties? Now, in this particular table, this would have been mentioned that what is the time period of Khiljis and Mughal dynasties. What is the time period of Khiljis and Mughal dynasties? Now we come to further part. When the Mughal Empire declined in the 18th century, it led to the re-emergence of regional states. And now in what happened in 1707, okay, in the year 1707, the great Mughal emperor named Aurangzeb was passed away. He passed away from this mortal earth. Then after his death, no important and powerful region was available in the later Mughal period. So the regional power again upholded their their head, and they started to getting their regional independency, the re-emergence of regional states. But years of imperial pan-regional rule has altered the character of the regions. Across most of the subcontinent, the regions were left with legacies of the big and small states, okay, that had ruled over them. This was apparent in the emergence of many distinct and shared traditions in the realm of governance, the management of the economy, elite cultures, and languages. Now, with the passage of time, a lot of things about these regional areas were changed. 100% these things were totally changed, because they were earlier being treated as a subordinate of Mughal emperors, but when they got their independence, with the independence they got some new issues also, some new kind of characteristics also in their society. Across most of the subcontinent, the regions were being left with the legacies of the big and small states. Now those regions were subdivided into big and small states legacies that had ruled over them. This was apparent in the emergence of many distinct and shared traditions, and due to this thing, due to their small separation, and or huge separation, anything it may be, it depends upon a regional power, that how it was distributed and divided. Then this was apparent in the emergence of many distinct and shared traditions in the realm of governance, and the management of the economy, elite culture, and languages. And several kind of changes came in the life of economy, elite culture, and language in the life of common people. Through the thousands year between 700 to 715, the character of different regions did not grow in isolation. and through the long time period of 1000 year, from 700 to 1750, 1050 year, the character of the different regions did not grow in isolation. I mean, the character of these regions, also being developed with the passage of time. Isolation means a condition of very peace and calm, doing nothing. सो आइसोलेशन, जिसे कहा जाता है ना कि इनको आइसोलेट कर दिया गया है, अभी आप सुने हुए उन एकांतवास करना, एक अकेले में डाल देना उनको. These regions felt that impact of large pan-regional forces to integration without ever quite losing their distinctiveness. That and these areas show us a beautiful thing, that those people adopted the external influence, the external power, the external, shelter of some larger king without losing their personal specific characteristic. Without losing their personal specific characteristic, and then they adopted the headship, the rulership of some Khilji emperor or some Mughal emperor or some new emperors. So listen, if you are not able to understand anything, if you study and you won't able to understand anything, then you may politely ask it to me. I will 100% re-explain it. Okay, ask me in your class while in afternoon I take class. Then at that time, put your query before me. Okay, so that I can solve and tell you what is the main things. So now we come to this new heading: old and new religions. Okay, old and new religion regions. No, no, sorry, religions. The thousands year of history that we are exploring witnessed major developments in religious tradition also. Within these thousands of years, various kind of new religion came into the world. People's belief in divine was sometimes deeply personal, but more usually it was collective. At that time, collective worship used to be cherished on the place of personal worship. People's belief in divine was sometimes deeply personal, but more usually it was collective. Collective belief in supernatural agency. Religion was often closely connected with the social and economic organization of local communities, and collectively these worship was totally connected to a supernatural power, that single power, and the whole people, whole crowd was dedicated to that power. But sometimes deeply personal, but more collective belief in supernatural agency. Religion, and what about religion? Religion was often closely connected with the social and economic organization of local communities, and religion part was also connected deeply to the social and economic part of common people. As the social words of these groups altered, so too did their beliefs. So as after coming from abroad, like now just people who came to India, they brought Islam with themselves in our country. Okay, so when they came into a new direction, into a new locality, then they did that thing also, कि they followed some new belief over here. The new thing they brought inside us, we were affected by them and they were affected by us also. But the most beautiful characteristic of Indian culture, that both type of people, Hindu accepted other religions and other religions accepted Hindu religion. It was during this period that important changes occurred in what we call Hinduism today. These included the worship of new deities. Now during those 1000 years, some changes in Hinduism were also occurred. So we are talking about those changes. Changes number one, that collective the new deities were also being worshipped. So some new god and goddesses were being worshipped at that time. Like, have you heard the name of Gorakhnath, a famous Nath saint? Have you heard the name of Mirabai, Kabir Das? They used to worship some god. Okay, so and you must have heard Sufism in Islam. So all these kind of changes took place. Around 1300 1400th century in our country. That is called Bhakti movement and Sufi movement. So all these changes took place during this time period and deeply affected us. It was during this time period that important changes occurred in what we call Hinduism today. These included the worship of new deities, the construction of temples by royalty, and growing importance of Brahmins. और क्या क्या हुआ? The worship of new deities, the construction of temples by royalty, And second thing, what kind of change that took place, that the new temples were now being constructed by, by royal, by emperor, by government side, by royal side, by monarchical side, monarchy side, by emperor side. And the growing importance of Brahmins, now Brahmins were being given importance both by Hindu as well as by Muslim kings. The priests, the priest means the people who worship, they were also being given importance as dominant group in the society, and their groups was very much dominant in nature in the society. So these are some important point. Next heading is, next paragraph is that knowledge of Sanskrit. Whose knowledge of Sanskrit? The knowledge of Sanskrit of Brahmins people, the knowledge of Sanskrit of priests people. Their knowledge of Sanskrit text earned the Brahmins a lot of respect in the society. Even then today we come to know that a Brahmin that is speaking Sanskrit language, we respect him a lot. So a knowledge of Sanskrit text earned the Brahmins a lot of respect in the society. Their dominant position was consolidated by the support of their patrons, new rulers searching for prestige. And they were, what these emperor, these Brahmins used to do, these Brahmins used to do to support and such a kind of patrons. Suppose that some, prince came to him and he said that with the influence of your mantras, with the influence of your Sanskrit language, and your bhakti, and your worship towards God, please make me king and I will always give you respect. So from such a kind of people, those Brahmins were also uh, i mean given importance. So in such a way, Brahmins were becoming the one of the most important segment of that society. So these things are something that I discussed with you people. You please keep on studying all these things, and if you find anything not understand, you won't able to understand, then please talk to me. I will explain the things again to you. And take care about yourself and keep on studying. And what is now your homework? Your homework is, you have to do this question, language and region. You have to solve this question, language and region, a paragraph that is of Amir Khusro. What you have to do, you have to solve that paragraph, language and region. Okay, so this is your homework. Do your homework and please send your homework in Google e-classroom. I request to you, please send your homework in Google e-classroom. Don't send in WhatsApp. Try to send it in Google Classroom. Okay, so all the best now for other things. Take care about yourself, be happy and healthy, and we'll meet tomorrow's video. Till that time, stay safe. Okay, and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you. Okay, thank you.